You might choose today to sit on your block or a blanket or the floor, but sit in a way that you're not collapsing. So sit in a way where you feel like you can lengthen. You're really holding up your body. Let's roll our shoulders a few times, close your eyes, just start to bring your awareness to this space, to this hour. There are other hours in the day where your focus will need to be elsewhere, but right now your focus needs to be here. So agree to that and then commit to it. Turn your hands so your palms are up, a gesture of being open and receiving. And gently open and close your fists a few times. All the while sitting well, like you are stacking the columns of your spine like little blocks, feeling them balance on top of one another all the way up to the back of your neck. Bring your pointer finger and your thumb together, making a little like okay sign, if you will, keeping your palms up. This is called Anjali Mudra. I just like to think of this as being a circle that has closure and has the opportunity for energy to flow continuously. Think of how circles are like that. Circles, like a wheel, they're able to move forward, flowing continuously. Fewer bumps and skips along the way. Let your body and your breath be like that today, a circle, a connection that allows them to flow together harmoniously without having a lot of skips and bumps. If this feels okay to you, you can keep your thumb and finger together in that circle and start to tune into our breath. We'll breathe together. Begin now. Inhale. Through your nose, exhale. Allow yourself to get more space with each breath in. Inhale. A little lighter with each exhale. Exhale now. Soften your jaw. Relax your lips. Try to take the breath in and out through your nose. Inhale. Hold the peak of that breath. And then like the wheel, rolling slowly, exhale. Can you let the lightness envelope you? Inhale. Where are you holding tension? Can you let it go? Exhale. Can you take your mind away from your body? Inhale. And into that airy space that is your breath. Exhale. Take 2 more breaths on your own, staying in that soft, focused, slow and deep breath. Release your thumb and your forefinger. Keep your eyes closed. Gently bring your hands together to heart center. I invite you to begin your practice today with a moment of intention or gratitude, whatever you need. Perhaps you need to ask for surrender. Perhaps you need to look more deeply within and find your focus. Claim what works for you right now. And then gently release your hands, bring your hands to your knees. You can keep your eyes closed as you start to round your back, finding a seated cat-cow. Exhaling as you make the space between your sternum and your belly button smaller, and then inhaling as you take your shoulders up towards your ears and then down and long towards the center of your back. Lifting your chest, your chin, your collarbones are spread as wide as they can. And this first few movements continue with that seated cat-cow. See if you can continue to have intentional breath. Breath that is intentionally deep and slow and connected. So that probably means you need to move in an exaggerated and slow way. Letting yourself feel the places where you might be tight or tired or loose or not quite there. Come back up to center. Take your legs out long and draw your right knee in towards your chest. Take that foot across your left knee and start to hug your ribs and your belly to your right thigh as you twist towards the right. You may just use this arm. Some of you might like to use your right hand also as an anchor behind you to get a little bit more leverage without collapsing through your shoulders. So trying to get your shoulders like they were in a straight line. Gently turning your gaze the way of your right shoulder. Feeling the toes on your left foot, pushing themselves up towards the sky without you having to look at your foot to will it to happen. Unwind from the shoulders first, then let your ribs follow. And guide your legs so you're in more of a seated pigeon pose. And then gently drop your chest towards your right inner calf. And probably not very far. Probably just right. Just Susan's looking like probably not far at all. That's what we feel there. And I'm leading with my sternum as opposed to my nose. So rather than cowering down, keep your gaze up and forward. Just feel your belly melting towards your thigh here. Great, come back out to center. Help your right foot go back out long as you slide your left leg in. And maybe you can have your eyes closed this whole time because nothing's complex. You're not going to fall down. You can just feel your body start to hug your belly in towards your left thigh, getting good and tight here, and then twisting towards the left, using the leverage of your arm. Maybe your left hand comes back behind you. Taking your gaze down by your left hip or looking towards your shoulder. Thinking of your shoulders pulling back so that they become in line, kind of in line with that short edge of your mat. And if you find that there's a yawn there, it was probably wanting to get out all day and it's just time, come back up to center. Let's guide your left foot on top of your right thigh. Nice active toes on your right foot. Even if this knee is jacked up a little bit, remember you can always use your block as a little support. This is a seated pigeon. Start to fold forward. Let your foot be alive there on the floor. And again, just like when we were doing the seated cat-cow and you try to spread your shoulders and your collarbone wide, see if you can do that here also. So you're leaning forward, but not collapsing. Good. Great job. Unwind and take the soles of your feet together. Sit up really nice and tall for a moment. Drawing your heels in close. Anchoring your hands to your feet if you can. Good. And then keeping those elbows in tight. Hug your elbows in towards your chest and your sides as you start to bend your arms and drop your chest forward. And let's let part of our intention today be about breath, which is deep and slow. So use this space to take a breath. And just because you're going slow doesn't mean you're not doing anything. So this is actually an opportunity for you to really check in. We made that commitment to be here for this hour. So just because we're going slow, rather than checking out, it's actually a time to really check in and listen. All right, friends, unwind. Let's roll over to hands and knees. Feel the weight of your hands right underneath your shoulders. Get situated here. And notice if your belly starts to sag and you're making like a saddle back here, and lift up through your ribs and your tummy so that you make a difference in how you are level with the mat. So hug your belly button in like there's a little fire right here on the mat, and you're trying to just create as much space as you can to not get that fire up to you, but without moving away, lifting your hands. Hug that belly in and extend your right foot back. Keep your toes on the mat, just push back through your heel, keeping that ab engaged the whole time. Gaze is forward and down. Just stretching out through the back of your leg gently, pushing away in your heel. And then come back up to center. Keep your right leg extended. Lift your right leg and notice how your right hip starts to want to kind of like put you off balance towards the left. Level those hips. Level your foot so your toes are pointing straight down. Heel is really lifted straight up. And I'm pushing through that heel like there's a board back there and I want to push it away. And now you breathe deep and slow and start to find that synchrony where you can be slow and still, but still working, and also where we can be enjoying the work. So lots to do here, being slow, still, working, but enjoying the work, feeling your leg holding itself up. Stay here. Good. Gently sweep your right knee to your right hand and slide your foot across. Set yourself up for a little pigeon right here. You can stay lifted the whole time if you're not quite ready in your lower back to fold. You could just have your hands on the block or the mat right in front of you and just take a moment, gaze straight ahead. Even with your eyes closed, it's like your eyeballs are centered, gaze straight ahead. Or if you're like, oh, the floor seems so close, it would be so nice to get there, just go ahead and go down, support yourself. No, I'm worried if you get there, you won't get back up, but I'll hope for the best. Take one more breath here. Gently walk yourself back up. So now we're all on our nice tall spine. See if you can press the weight into your right hand, shift your body forward, bend your left knee. So I'm not back at all or it will hurt your kneecap. So you're allowing yourself to come forward and just lift the left knee. This may be enough. Some of you might feel like you could reach back with your left hand and grab your left foot. So same hand, same foot. There you go. And some of you might be like, nope. That's okay. Maybe later, maybe never. You never know. Undo that leg. Let's sweep your right knee back, tuck your toes, reset in your downward facing dog. First Tuesday down dog. Oh. Shorten up your dog so that you have the space to really drop your chest towards your thighs and you're not in a shape where you're rounding it all. Think of making the best upside down V that you possibly could. And in order to do that, you have to have straight arms. Let your head hang, that heavy head, just let it hang. Breathe in and breathe out. Wiggle your toes back just a little bit. So now we're in a V still, but it's a little bit longer. Lift up onto your tippy toes. Heels are lifting, belly is tight. Look forward between your hands. Roll your body forward, find your high plank. So once again, here you are pushing the mat away with your arms. Good. Staying here in your high plank. If your knees are down, they're way behind you. Gaze is forward. You can be slow and still and enjoy the work. So lean into that space where you're learning to be strong, or you are strong, or you're finding your strength. One more breath. Drop to your knees. Toes to touch. Take it all the way back. Child's pose. This is a chance to circle out your wrists or just take the weight off of your hands if you like. You can take your knees out a little wider if you want, and you roll your head from side to side like temple to temple. Come back up to your hands and knees. As a reminder, if your wrists are bothering you because we're putting all that weight on your hands, you can always put the pressure more into the fingertips. That's going to take some of the weight off of the part that has the strain in your wrists. Or put your towel or your blanket on that part so that your hands are elevated just a little bit, okay? Just kind of fold it up, put it in front of you. All right. That way you're still steady through your arms as you take your left foot back. So everybody take your left foot back and press your toes down into the mat and let your heel push back, but your foot is still on the ground. So your hips shift back, your body shifts back just a little bit just to get that press, but I'm not moving where my hands are. And this is an opportunity for you to remind yourself how your arm bones rotate. So you can look at how the eyes of your elbows can turn forward here, and then to their sides. Let them rotate forward and then towards one another without having to move your hands. So it's like you're gonna open a jar with your hands, but it's stuck. The arm bones can rotate without your hands moving. Good. All right, find the awareness, stacking bones right over wrists. Really tight and engaged, like we're trussed up through the middle. Lift your left heel. And the tendency is to start to collapse into the right side because we have more weight on that side now with hand and knee. Resist that temptation and level out your hips like they're two headlights equally pointing straight down. If your head, this heavy head, is looking back and down, you're dropping towards the floor, can you look forward instead? If you had one straight line, I paint a line from the back of your neck down through the center of your mat. Can you have your knees on each side, pushing through your left heel, flexing through your left foot? Big breath in, push everything away. Good work. Breathe in and breathe out. Slide your left knee forward and slide your right knee back. Set up for your half pigeon on this side. Letting the space between your left hip and the floor just be a space that has possibilities. Maybe dropping your chest and resting your hands, maybe staying lifted up. It's up to you. See if it's possible for you to, like you're turning off light switches in your house, turn off the things that are on your mind, so that all you really have to worry about right now is breathing, being, and feeling your left hip. And if you have space for one more thing, you can feel grateful. All right, if you're not already, lift your chest. Push that mat away so you get really long through your spine. So it's really good for lengthening through your back. And then keeping your gaze forward, press the weight a little bit more into your left hand and bend your right knee. Some of you might just stay here, feeling your knee bent, feeling your heel tugging in. Some of you might see if you can balance on your left hand and reach your right hand back for your foot. And again, if I'm too far back, you'll notice because it hurts your kneecap. So I'm letting my weight be forward a little bit, which requires quad flexibility. So if you're not there, then that's why, and it's the quad flexibility. So just be patient with that. Nice. Good. If you've got your foot, gently release it. If not, find both hands on the ground. Everybody, sweep your left leg back and find yourself in your downward facing dog. Take a second here, shake your head from side to side. Soften your chest like it's gonna hug right onto your thighs, even though you're in that upside down V. Will be the mattress that Alana was trying to squeeze in half. Take a deep breath in and an open mouth exhale here in your downward dog. I love an open mouth exhale in down dog because it's like your head is already heavy and you can just let everything go. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Open your eyes. Good work. Inhale to your tippy toes and then walk your feet forward to your hands. Find yourself in your deep forward fold. Always an option to put the block underneath your hands in front of you. If your hands do reach the floor, can you anchor your hands to your feet somehow? So that might look like peace fingers to your big toes. Even if your knees are bent, it might look like hands reaching around to grab the backs of your ankles. It might look like elbows out to the side as you, whichever anchor you have, you pull forward. It might look like palms of your hands sliding underneath the soles of your feet. So some of you may want to try that. Slide your hand underneath the sole of your feet, getting some tension through your wrists here as well. Wherever you are, that was your choice. Stay with it. Stay here in this upside down inversion. Breathe. Swaying a little bit side to side. You're anchored. You feel the weight just subtly shift from foot to foot. Good. Release your hands. Roll all the way up. As you go, draw everything in towards your center line. So as you stand up, you stand really well. So you don't just pop up, you roll up. You're unrolling and now you're nice and straight. Take your arms straight up to the sky and resist the tendency to arch your back here. Keep everything like you're a perfectly straight line. Set your gaze, reach your hands out really up towards the ceiling, and then take them out nice and long, reach them behind your back. Interlace your fingers, soften everything, and then straighten it again as you squeeze your shoulder blades together. Nicole, be easy here with that injured arm. Hugging your shoulder blades together. Now lift your chin and allow that arching of your upper back to happen. Some of you may even be able to push your hip bones forward, chin up, going forward just a little bit. If you can, keep your hands right where they are as you forward fold, and then they rinse up away from your back. Just a little lift here. Let your head hang. When you get down there, again, shake your head side to side. Good. Release your hands. Bring your ankle bones closer together. Drop your hips back. Bend your knees. Sweep your arms up. Chair pose. Set your gaze forward. Making your chin level to the floor. So not down, not up, just level to the floor. Making your arms like this would be like a 45-degree angle if this is 90. Reaching through your fingertips, good. Dropping the weight into your heels so your toes are light, working your lower belly as you reach, and then let it all go. Feel it all relax as you exhale, forward fold. Walk your fingertips over to the right and stay there for a second, feeling this big stretch through the back of your right leg. Take a deep breath in. Use your exhale like it's a commuter train travel. And then you find your breath again, ready to inhale when you're on the left side. Walking your fingers there, finding a space, remembering if the floor doesn't come to you, make the floor the level you need using your block. Good, come back up to center. Find a little steadiness with your fingertips. Step your left toes back. Find yourself in your low lunge and sweep your arms up. So now we're in high lunge with our right foot forward. Always the option to drop your back knee if you feel like you need to. Stay right here and look up. Good, now we're taking a twist. So the opposite way of a warrior two. Left hand comes forward, right hand sweeps back. My palm is still facing towards the right edge of my mat. So both palms are facing towards the right. I'm just twisting here, good. If you can, make your gaze towards the right middle of your mat or maybe gently towards your right thumb, but keep mindful of your neck. Big bend in your right knee, stay there like that. Good, and then our transition is to warrior two. Arms come up and then open to your warrior two. Now you're facing the other side. Good, settle here. So right foot is forward, nice. And it's forward enough that you've got room to go down. So if you're not able to go down, one thing you can always do is scoot that right foot forward more. You don't have to have a parallel thigh, but you have room to go down. Dropping your body down. Good, settling here. Really nice. Reach your hand towards your right foot. So reaching forward, then straighten out your right leg and pivot your arms. So now they're one straight line, triangle pose. Yep, good. So the reach helps get my left ribs kind of to move over to the right so then I can drop down. Now, if you feel like you're just dangling in space and you need an anchor, put your block underneath your right hand. But if you feel like you're okay here, then think of how all those intercostal muscles between your ribs are holding you up, and hug your pelvis under your body to help you have more stability. We're only here for a moment. Take your arms out in front of you like you're holding a book. this way. So look, I'm reaching towards, yeah, towards my belly button. Perfect. So not out to the side, but in front of me. Holding something nice there. Breathe and straighten all the way up. Good work. Turn your toes to the long edge of your mat and take a big forward facing fold. Find a place for your hands, friends. So find that anchor and take your breath deep and slow. Rocking your weight a little bit side to side, seeing what that feels like. Really good. Walk your fingers over to your right foot. So now you're back in this low lunge. And we're going to transition to lifting your left leg. So you might want to have your block up here in front of your right foot. All right. Hands are on the block or on the floor. And you're going to push off your left toes, lift your left foot. Take your hands, even if they're on the block, a little bit more in front of you so that you have leverage really strong and long through your right leg. So you might need to feel that weight shift back in your right heel, length through your right leg, allowing your head to hang. Good. Lifting through your left heel, just one more breath. Now, can you gracefully hug your left knee in and then place that foot down so lightly you don't even make a sound? Roll all the way up. Breathe in. Sweep your arms up. Stand really well, reaching up towards the ceiling, and then exhale, hands come to heart center. If you've not yet opened your eyes, open your eyes here, set your gaze. Come back, if you can remember it, to your intention or your practice of gratitude right here. If nothing else, feeling thankful for the 10 toes you have that are holding you up on the mat. The 2 legs that work with your brain. Your heart, your lungs, take breath that is deep and slow. When you're ready, inhale, sweep your arms up towards the sky, and then exhale, take a big forward fold. Keep your left foot right where it is, and step your right foot back so you're in a low lunge. Take time to get set up in that low lunge. Square your shoulders, think of squaring your hips, and feel your right knee engage before your body even starts to lift. So this right leg is doing half of the work. Now your torso lifts, rise up. Shoulders have space between your earlobes and the tops of your arms. Arms are alive, fingertips are alive. Open your eyes here, see, be in this 4 corners, this space, your legs are strong. Drive your left arm back and your right hand forward as you turn your body to face the long left edge of your mat. So you're in a revolved twist. Your challenge here is to keep your arms straight and long. Like your shoulders were from a yardstick, like if you were holding a pole, it would be perfectly straight. Beautiful, Chris. Keep reaching here. Maybe your gaze is just in the peripheral of your vision, looking at your left thumb. If you're thinking all about your left leg and how that's hard, bring your awareness instead to your breath. Up here, inhale, exhale. Good, we're gonna transition to warrior 2. Try to make it as efficient as possible. Arms sweep up and pivot. Good, settle in your warrior 2. Adjust your feet how you need to so that you can, once you get there, you can be planted. Right? Be planted. It's like when I'm cooking, and I do so much better if I get everything out and then get started versus rummaging around halfway through while the garlic's burning, trying to figure out where the other stuff is. Get yourself planted, find the depth of the left thigh. So scooching your left foot forward maybe, so you've got that space, you're dropping in here. Arms are really long, hugging your glutes in tight. Lean your left hand forward. So I still have that long reach, but I just lean forward. And then as you straighten your left leg, just take your arms. So now they're reaching long, like you're holding that stick, but now it's straight up and down triangle pose. And once you get there, explore. Find the opening through your shoulder. Find the engagement through your ribs and your waist, even through your mid-back. So not suffering through your legs. Instead, everything hugging in, working together. Good. All right, making that sandwich out in front of you, reach your hands out in front, but keep your lean over your left leg. So reaching here, really activating through your core. Fingers are tight, really good, guys. Breathe, lift yourself back up. Good work. Turn your toes to the long edge of your mat. Exhale it out. Fold forward, soften your knees here as much as you like. Let your head hang. Put your hands on the block if you need to. Can you rock back into your heels a bit? Good. Walk your hands around to your left foot. So now you're back in that low lunge. If you need to go back around, get your block, do that. All right, our block is our landing point. Slow and steady. You're gonna lift your right leg and stand on your left foot with your hands on the block or on the ground. Float that left leg. Good. Sometimes I like to just stop and go slow. It's a reminder that slow can be just as challenging as fast, right? We can get strong still by going slow. And maybe you learn something by going slow. Let your head hang, let your nose fall towards your knee. Take your awareness into your left leg. Be grateful that it's working. Be grateful that it's hard, because you are lucky that you are healthy enough to try. Hug your right knee in tight to your left leg, and then just so gently set it down. Quiet, quiet, quiet. Good work. Drop all the way down into a low squat. So I'm just in a kneeling here. Good. If this hurts, then you can go ahead and sit back. If it doesn't hurt, give me just a second right here, finding your balance on your toes. And for some of you, you'll be like, no, that's okay. Good. Everybody's here. Everybody make your way all the way back onto your back, legs straight up towards the sky. Take your arms out to the edges of your mat. So we had our head down a lot. Now let's have our legs up. Had the chance to get a quick haircut, which I've not done since January, maybe earlier than that. So that was exciting. But the guy was like I didn't even know him. And then right off the bat, he's like, yeah, I'm so burned out. I'm just so tired of doing this all the time. I do like 30 haircuts a day. I'm so done. And I know how he feels. There's been lots of times where I've done the same job for years and years, even in taking care of Ava. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, another day of doing the same thing. Bend your knees, hug your knees into your chest. And it just made me think about how it is our responsibility to find new crevices, new light, new ways that we don't just keep seeing the things the same way, right? We have to be always doing it a little bit differently, a little bit fresh to stay vibrant and alive. Don't just go into autopilot. We're not robots. Good. Take both legs straight up towards the sky. Lift your chest. Look at your feet. Reach your hands up towards the ceiling like you're going to touch your toes. Maybe you do touch your toes. Maybe you can reach past your toes, lifting, 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 and then keep your arms and legs up. Just lower your shoulders back down. And then do that again. Try to get a little bit further. Reach your chest up, reach your fingers up, reach your fingers up to your toes, maybe past your toes, maybe all the way to the ceiling. Just reach up, reach up, reach up, hugging in. You're getting tighter here. And then keep your legs and arms up. Just lower your chest down. Let's do that 5 more times. Inhale, reach up. Yes, you can. Come on. Reaching up, straight legs, drive through your heels, reach up towards your toes. There's no reason not to try, right? If we did this every day and then we just checked out, lower your shoulders down to the floor. You wouldn't get any benefit out of it at all because you have to be connected. Inhale, reach up. Inhale, reach up, reach up, reach your fingers up to your feet or longer, past your feet, pressing through your heels, lifting your chest, lower your shoulders down. We have 1 more after this. Is that true? We have 2. I lose count. All right. You're not going to tell me, are you? Okay. Inhale, reach up. Terry's my mathematician. Terry, how many do we have left?
2 after this one.
Okay. See, I knew she's an accountant. Lower all the way down.
Don't hate me.
All right, 2 more. Here we go. Lift up. Paying attention, not closing out the hard stuff, right? Leaning into the hard stuff because that's how we shape our experience. Reach in, reach up, lower down. Okay, I think we're all in agreement. We have 1 more. Here we go. Lift. Reach. Straight legs. Good, Nicole. Reach. Get those shoulders up off the ground. Your core is fire. Lower down. Good. Put your feet on the floor. Take your feet out really wide off the edges of your mat. So you've got this really wide, nice position. And then start dropping your knees side to side. So dropping your knees in the same direction to the left and then to the right. Rolling your head side to side. Feeling that opening through your hips. Before you find your strap, bring your knees back up to center. Put your feet on the floor. Lift your hips, bridge pose. And if your shoulders are okay with this, lift your arms back above your head, palms up, just getting some weight into your shoulders and opening. So armpits are up towards the sky, palms are up towards the sky, but arms are back behind you. Push through your heels, open through your back. Think of keeping your knees in line so they're not falling apart. They're drawing energetically together. And then lower, 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 gentle. Good work. Find your strap. You can hook your right foot into the strap. Put your left foot on the floor. So bend your left knee, put your left foot on the floor. Climb up the strap with your hands. So you've got good tension up high with straight arms. And then lift your chest just a bit. Hug the knee towards your nose. So you still could have a micro bend in this leg, but a flexed foot and getting a lot of length through the back of your knee. Be mindful that you're keeping a nice neutral neck. And if that hurts, then your option is just to keep your chest down and you can just work on the leg. One more breath here. Lower your shoulders down. Bring your leg back straight up. Hold the strap in your right hand. Externally rotate your leg. Knees and toes turn towards the right. Start to drop it open to the right. Now your left leg may want to slide long, but be mindful you're trying to keep your left hip pulling down towards the floor. There might be a little space between your left glute and the hip and the floor, but you're trying not to roll all the way over. And your left shoulder for sure is on the ground, so you can turn your gaze towards the left and give some leverage to this right foot. Bend your right knee, bring it back up. Switch hands. Little softness in your right leg. Now the strap is in my left hand. Drag your right foot across towards your left hip. Turn your gaze to the right. So taking that twist. And you can then, once you get there, if your knee was a little bent, now you can play with pushing out through the heel, see if you can straighten. Keeping your right shoulder on the mat. Finding a way to have enjoyment with your work, all the work you do on your body, the work you do for your job, the work you do for others, right? I think that's our secret, is finding happiness in the work. Then you won't run away from the work. Come back up to center. Unhook your right leg, slide it down the mat, and just take a moment here. Take a quick rest. Both legs are long, hands are out to the sides. If your eyes can be closed, that's nice. Jaw is soft. Move slowly, intentionally. Start to bend your left leg, bend your right leg. Put your right foot on the floor and hook the strap on your left foot. Straighten your left foot up towards the sky. Good. Walk your hands up that strap till you're reaching. You're really kind of starting to reach. It's a stretch to have your hands where they are. And so now you can bend your elbows, lift your chest, and find this place where you're pulling gently your leg more towards your chest. Pulling in, pulling in. Bending your elbows, pulling in. Very good. Bending your elbows, pulling in. Maybe there's a bend in your knee. It's a small bend. You're still feeling that length through the whole back of your left foot, and your toes are flexed, driving through your heel. Good. Lower your chest. Loosen up the strap a bit. Externally rotate your left leg. So straightening your knee, turning your kneecap and your toes to the left. Start to drop your leg open to the left, using the strap in your hand as a way to keep that tension. Maybe you want to slide your right leg out long, keeping your right hip energetically level and pulling down towards the floor. So not rolling over. And once you get there, you can feel that drive through your heel. So even if you're bending your knee, maybe you can start to straighten and press through your heel just a little bit. Doing this is so good for your joints. You're finding that length, that you're lengthening your muscles, but you're very connected. So you're lengthening all the ligaments and tendons in a way that's in line with that leg. And we have the leg externally rotated in the joint. So you're supported with the strap. All right, bend your knee. Bring your leg back up to center. I'm keeping this little bend in my knee even as I switch hands, because then as you drop your leg over to the right, and I've got the bent knee, left shoulder still on the ground. Now I've got a place where I can explore straightening out that leg. And you kind of get into that like, oh, there it is. And maybe your leg doesn't straighten all the way, but you feel that. Turn your gaze the opposite way. So in this case, towards your left hand. Breathe in, breathe out. Close your eyes. Let your leg float back up to center. Unhook the strap and set it to the side. Take a moment, slide out both legs long. Reach your arms above your head, stretching fingers to toes. Before we set up for our final rest, take Supta Baddha Konasana, or reclined bound angle, bending your knees, putting the soles of your feet together, and resting one hand over your heart and one hand right underneath your belly button. And then take breaths that are slow enough and deep enough that your hands rise and fall. And this may be the chance to take the deepest, most powerful and peaceful breath you've had yet today. So if that is the chance, don't let it just drift by, right? See the moment, see the opportunity. Tune in, like you're adjusting that dial to be able to hear so clearly, and take those deep, slow breaths, feeling your hands rise and fall. Release your hands. It might be nice to windshield wiper your knees from side to side before you either extend your legs out long or find a way to have your legs up for your final rest, supported on the wall or on a chair or what have you, anything that would be not having you to do the work. Or you can just take up space, and maybe that Anjali Mudra of pointer finger and thumb together would be nice to come back to the place where you have energy that flows without breaks or corners. Close your eyes. You can start to come out of your rest. You can start to bring your awareness back to your breath, to your feet, to your hands. And you can start to make the transition physically from whatever your rest was to a place where you can meet at the top of your mat. Bring your hands together at heart center in gratitude. May we all feel that we have purpose and joy in the work that we do. The work that we do for ourselves, the work that we do for others. The work that we do out of necessity and the work that we do by choice. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.
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 Hmm.